All right. Okay, time for another episode. There'll be no music or anything like that. There's times that I do forget. I like to start the show with donating. Try your best not to throw stuff in the trash. Someone else could use it. Someone else may need it. Uh, Share as much as you can the video. Again, if it's not for you, it could be for someone else. The same as donating. Right, it's not for you, but it could be for someone else could use it. um you be you would be surprised, but don't be surprised. Don't look for that. Just think of it as, you know what, I don't need it anymore. Maybe someone else needs it, so it becomes old to you and it becomes new to them. Right, so that's important. It's also recycling, a form of recycling, right? So not everything needs to go to the trash. All right. So again, what's the show about? Uh I do have to insert one comment. If anyone thinks what I'm doing is for some other reason than what I'm doing it for, I just like to say, fuck you. You're a loser. This is to help people that are in need. This is not some platform for anything else, for some selfish purpose of my own. I don't make any money from this. I don't pick up chicks from this. Nothing like that. Right? This is me paying forward. Uh, there are people in my life that so it's weird because at the time that these messages are coming to me, so you know how the saying goes, it goes through one ear, out the other. That's not actually true, because it went in one ear and it just stood somewhere in my brain. Because years later, uh, I would hear those messages and they serve their purpose. And sometimes that's how messages are. They'll serve their purpose in that time. Same way when you think of, ah, this person needs to get theirs for all the shit they done. It's not gonna happen in your time, right? But then it'll happen eventually, right? So that's just how it is. So as you're dealing with the things that you're dealing with, you have bills to pay, you have excuse me, you have whatever you have, kids to support, wife, this and this and that. Maybe it's just you. So you have to go out there, right? And you're out there and you're working. And when you get to work, it's a tough thing, right? Like it's a tough thing. Oh, not just work. Like you gotta go shopping. You gotta go, whatever. So you go out and you have this persona. Let's just say at a workplace, right? So you have that persona. So whoever is whoever, understand that they're also coming with their persona, right? And don't let anyone make you feel like you're this small and stuff like that, because it will happen, right? And especially when you're suffering from like anxiety and depression, you'll feel real small and feel like this person is this and this person is that. They're so much better than me, and they're, oh, that's a strong man, that's a strong woman, that's a don't think that. because that only makes things worse for you when you're trying to function. You're trying to function, like you're trying to go there, do your thing, and then go back home. And same thing with the supermarket. Don't get intimidated. Don't, yeah, you'll see families and this and that and it, but always keep one thing in mind. And I remind myself all the time. They shit just like you do. So don't ever think that they shit just like you do. All right. So keep that in your head. And then you keep doing what you're doing because you're battling to stay alive. You're battling to function in society. You really don't know what this other person's life is like behind the persona that they're putting up. You don't know. They could be struggling just like you are, but they just have a better front, right? So you see a woman or a guy driving a fancy car doesn't mean they have money. It could mean they have good credit, or it could mean that it's someone else's car. So don't go by that. And in your time like now in need of mental health or motivation, you shouldn't be thinking about any of those things, right? So, uh there is hotlines and different things like that for help. 24 hours is different. Do a little research. Give yourself a shot, right? Give yourself a shot. So it's funny, right? Like so you think about lobsters, right? Like, oh shit, it's so expensive, lobster. Well, lobsters are actually the cockroaches of the ocean, right? So relax, right? Relax and let's try to work on you, rebuilding you. So as you're doing that, sometimes you have to make your circle super small where it might just be only you in that circle, but it's okay. It's your circle, right? So when you're dealing with, as I like, again, I told you guys I make some notes and stuff just to refer to, and so that way I don't get lost in my message and things like that. And I kind of, uh, a saying that I like to use is I curb my tongue, right? So your pain and suffering, or your pain doesn't really go away until the pain has finished teaching you a lesson, right? So you could think about that very hard. As you learn from it, then it starts to go away. But as you learning from it, you're learning its lesson. Don't ever think that it's over, that it stops there. So the other saying I have is when you reach another level, you reach another devil. So it's never ending. You just you prepare yourself for the rounds to come, so when you reach whatever round, each round you should be stronger and stronger and stronger, right? Because if you think about it, then you would always sit at the first round. You never got stronger, so that means progress is not happening. So keep that in mind. And don't belittle yourself, and don't think. So there's a word, and it's called harebrain. So you can look it up, right? So they have like harebrain schemes, and it's just like it's just ill judged. just idiots. There's idiots out there. And you just have to know how to just fend it off, right? There's morons out there that just don't, even like, with bullying in school, like in, elementary school, junior high, high school, college, even when you're an adult, it just continues. It's just so look up the word harebrained. It's pretty interesting. But at the same time, so and I may have mentioned this before, and I will mention things again, and so on, and it's okay. It's okay. Uh, uh, it's like if I taught you how to do a certain kind of punch, I can't teach it to you once, and then I said, "All right, good, you got it right." That no, sometimes I have to teach it to you over and over and over again. So there could be sayings that I say, and I'll say it over and over again. So when you think you have it bad, always keep in mind that someone has it worse. And when you think you got it good, someone's got it better. Right. So I believe it's a saying from I want to say it's Albert Einstein. He said he would cry because he cried because he didn't have no shoes. And then he stopped crying until he saw a man with no legs. So back to him saying, like, when you think you got it bad, someone else got has it worse. So he cried about not having shoes, and he stopped crying when he saw a man with no legs. Right. So these are kinds of things that you want to keep in your head, and uh, also, and some it just popped up. It's not on my notes, but affirmations. Look up affirmations. I have affirmations that I've had for years. And in the beginning, you'll read them and read them until you have them memorized. So look up affirmations, what they do. I don't want to spend that time on the show doing that, but look that up because that also helps. Look it up. And then when you understand what affirmations could do, what I would like for you to do is find five of them. I'm trying to put my five fingers up on this camera. Find five of them that you like, you feel comfortable with, and then you memorize it. And especially in the morning when you wake up, you want to have it in your head and say it. And like I said, I've done the same five affirmations. I'm not going to share with you guys that I've used for years, and it does help. It does help. So, uh look it up, look the definition so you get a better idea. Like I said, I'm not going to go through what it this and this and that, but after you do, and you think that's something that you would like to do, yeah, hey, you know what, then find five of them, and then you go through there. So I explain how life will come at you in rounds, and another level, another devil. So there's something that I like told myself before, or something that just like popped in my head on how life could be, and how it is for some and how it is for others. So when you go to a beach, an actual beach, and the waves, they come in, so you're right at the edge, right where the wave has shrunken so small it's just touching your toes, and you take like 5 steps forward, now the waves are touching your ankle. Take another 5 steps forward, now they're close to your knee. Take another 5 steps, now they're up to your waist. Take another 5 steps, now it's up to like your belly button, and you keep going. Those waves keep coming until it's up to your neck. So that's how life is going to come to you. So it can start pain or things like that, or knowledge, wisdom, all of that stuff, it could start just at your toes. And then next thing you know, it's at your ankles. Then the next thing you know, like I said, it's up to your neck. But what you want to try to avoid is where it's over your head, because then you can drown. So you find ways how to come back, how to get when it reached your ankle to get back to your toes, right? Try not to get too far. If you allow it to become so deep, you have a lot. If you think about it, you got a long ways to go for those little for the waves to be just touching your toes. Uh so in this time and for myself as well. It's not, for myself as well. It can feel that like the rain follows you all the time, right? But one thing you have to understand, it can't rain all the time, right? So you could have that feeling that uh the rain follows you, but it can't rain all the time, right? So you have that negative thing where it's like the rain is following me. There's always this and that. But then on the positive side, you could say to yourself, it can't rain all the time, right? So eventually something's gonna break where the sun uh could shine on you, or it's just less rain where it's just drizzling, right? Um, so as the same thought process, like with my issue, like with my mom and stuff, I'll say like, mom, look what a mess you made, right? Because all these struggles and stuff like that started back then. And so not only, you can feel like uh the rain follows you. One of my feelings is it's always cold outside. It's always the world is always it's always cold outside for me. So you have some that say, rain always follow you, so it's always raining. And for me, one of my sayings for myself is the world is always cold outside, and uh it's a tough thing to deal with. So in I'm gonna finish off uh with uh with something that's so I don't of course with the show I always discuss, religion, politics, not going through that, but I wanted to, like, in the beginning of the show, I wanted to insert something. At the end, I want to insert something else. Everyone could take it the way they want to take it. So I don't have beliefs. So I don't believe this and this and that and whatever. I have an opinion. So I have the option to opinionate. So doesn't mean that something could come to me and shine a light and go, oh, and then it could change my opinion on something. But it could be very, uh, it has to be very uh, convincing, let's just say. So my opinions are created through how my life or my travels have created me. So I just one topic. So everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do. You want to date same sex, this and this and that. It's fine. That's your choice. It's your life. But there's just something I just wanted to throw out there, and it was in my mind. It's my show. I could say whatever without offending. So one of the things about the planet is that it stays the same weight. So one of the reasons why it stays the same weight is because everything that's built on this planet is from this planet. So the planet has its own natural balance. So until they start like constructing stuff on Mars, tons of weight, and delivering it on Earth, then the planet will change its weight. So so I'm going to get to the main point. So one of the things about same sex stuff like that, it's fine. One thing that everyone has to realize that it's going to change the birth rate of the planet. Therefore, it's going to affect the balance of the planet. Anyways, thank you guys. Uh I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Try to share. It's important. Subscribing is important for the show, for the cause. Um Again, try to donate as much as you can. And I'm only I'm only human. And like I mentioned a little bit before, I shit just like you do, right? So I'm only human, right? And I'm trying to help those that need help. Take care of yourselves.